right. Let's do it. Howdy. Nice tone and playing. Thank you. but it's not. Yeah, this is an octopus. It's sick, dude. What are you working on these days? Gary Kane. What am I working on? Well, I'm not really working on anything. I've been really working on teaching Nick, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to get through. No, I worked on some drop 2 stuff that was really insightful for me. It's like an area, like inversions and like moving stuff for chord melody. I dedicated like a few full days of practice to that lately, and that was really beneficial. But I mean, I guess the stuff that's on my mind is just, lately, it's just kind of like phrasing more rubato, like the stuff I've been working on with my student Nick over there. So yeah, like for instance, if I'm playing on a song like that Cantaloupe Island fusion thing, my inclination is always to start with the driven lines, the subdivided stuff, chicka 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 chicka, but really to have the bottom layer of my playing, like the place I default to for lines, be this like place of just sort of singing, and then burst into the lines from and back there. So like as an example, it would look like, if this is my groove, not starting a solo like this, I can, it's easy for me to default to that place of like straight up fusion playing, but really start with sort of more intuitive, easy to conjure like melodies, and then break into that thing, because I do like that, the line playing. That's a part of my playing I'm not trying to get rid of. But so that kind of thing, just to weave in. You know, a lot of people start every solo like Holdsworth or someone starts every solo like that. Again, just like smeared notes, but less to be weird or Holdsworthy, just to, you know, have this place that's, yeah, that has a lot more contrast from the groove. I think that's the idea. Do you have any suggestions for beginning to learn Jeff Beck tram and phrasing? Yeah, yeah, that is an octafuzz. Talk about Tyler. Yeah, I do. I definitely do like them. I was looking at after my sewer got stolen. May the person who stole it rot in hell. But yeah, I looked everywhere for like a replacement guitar, and I couldn't find anything. I checked out a ton of stores, couldn't find anything I liked, and this Tyler was the only one that was sort of reminiscent of it in weight and in response, you know, and that's really what I was looking for. There's something about it, not the two-tone classic. Yeah. My main sewer got stolen. That's why I have. It was stolen from my van and involved in insurance claims, but yeah, it's not coming back. So yeah, that was my main guitar forever. So I'm learning how to use this guitar. One thing I don't like about it is that the tone control, this tone control controls this pickup, and this tone control controls this pickup, and this one is not connected to a tone pot. And for me, it's a little too bright. So I always kind of find myself trying to roll it off, and then be like, oh, that's not an option. So I have to get it rewired. But other than that, it's a very sick guitar. Yeah, let's do some blues thing. It's a good one.
Teeth were made to indulge. With Colgate Optic White.
Mega backing tracks. It's good stuff. Wah wah. Broke my D string. So this is the difference between what, I wish, Nick, why can't you be like Stevie Ray Vaughan's tech? Hand me another guitar.
You want another guitar?
Nah, fuck it. It's over. It's all over. That was fun. I didn't get to play any electric guitar in like a month, honestly. So it feels good to be back. Oh no. Yeah. Let's see. There must be a D string here somewhere. So what do you know? These strings are 28s, right?
No idea.
For real? Yeah. There you go. I got one. All right, guys, this is a good time for some questions. Let's open up this conversation. Nick, this is a good time for questions from you. What do you want to learn, Nick? What's been on your mind?
Oh, jeez. Breathing.
Breathing?
Oh, yeah.
Is it hard?
No, it's not that bad.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know. It'd be nice to hear a little bit about like blues articulation, the sort of like writing kind of style.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's a real problem. Like with
Well, I'm glad I fucking asked.
well, no, but just being totally honest, like when I'm
Yeah.
playing electric guitar, it's like completely intuitive from my early childhood. I don't ever think about it. The gypsy jazz, I was so like hyper aware because I just learned it so late in life,
Yeah.
you know. But let's see how it's right into co. Cool. All right. Let's see what people are asking. Yeah. Danny is a bad dude. Thank you. So yeah, Nick, to be honest, for me with this kind of thing, I just know my sound. Like if I'm like going like like I know exactly the facial like I feel like it's coming from like behind my face when I'm playing.
Yeah.
I don't have a better way to describe it, but it's like I'm reaching for. I'm not just looking for the notes. Like I'm looking for myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting something very specific with my hands.
Yeah.
Like I really imagine the shape just as much as I am the note. Like, and I don't mean it in some sort of mystical way, just like the way I want it to come out of the guitar. So yeah, like. I realize that answer is basically saying nothing, like to you, other than like just like play what you hear. But with blues, maybe it's not like that. It's maybe just, I think, work on like getting like a couple notes, like or one note to sound in the ballpark of how you imagine it, right? It's about like imagining it and like how your notes sit in that on that groove in that music, just texturally. I mean, in the beginning, I think it's inevitable to just play some lines you know, that are just pretty typical. But like even when you're doing that, like there's no sort of normal way to play line. Like you can't play without articulation. You can just play with bad one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like people think like, oh, now I'm not doing the thing, but then there's like now you're just not shaping it. You know, it doesn't sound like, oh, good, he's just playing notes in time. It's like it's still you playing. So you know you gotta realize what you're putting in. If it's like pinching a note, shaking it, and like which notes are going to give that rhythm. So if you take a really basic phrase, something like that, that would be like my way of like playing it normal with nothing, right? But what can you do to that then? If you attack it harder, does it change the character of it? If I shake it a little bit, where can I add vibrato? If I go maybe reverse bend, then I kind of shape it into something I like more and more. Maybe it doesn't sound so good to me here on the guitar, but here, with like a little bit lower on the B string than higher on the G string, has a little bit more that nasal character I'm looking for. Revert. So I guess like just milking and figuring out like how to take a simple phrase and just spend some time with it, milk it in a lot of ways, figure out where to put vibrato, where to bend, if you like reverse bending, how hard you're going to hit it, where you're going to play it, sliding into notes, like all that stuff, just doing the same thing in a variety of ways, and then in the context of a groove, just actually trying to shift it in space and make it sound like a lot of things that you like. So turn around, maybe like maybe reverse bend like. At that point, you know, you're just kind of like trying different rhythms, different articulations, different parts of the form. You're just fixated on, like, it's almost like a mantra, right? Like you're saying the same thing, but like in a variety of ways to where you start being aware of like the little details.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's pretty key. How to play tasty chromatic shred. So the chromatic stuff, you know, you can do obviously rubato, but you can mostly like, you know, you do it on like the line playing. I would say if you're riding the groove, if you're working on playing lines and you're in the shuffle situation, start with just triplets and figure out ways of adding anything that's chromatic into triplet world. So if your home base with triplets might be pentatonic or Dorian, right? Then figure out where things fit in the cracks. So here's just like staying completely diatonic. So I added just a tiny bit of chromatic sort of intuitively at the end there, but here's playing the same kind of thing, but just using passing tones in between. Again, boring rhythm, just straight triplets, but just working on creating flow, right? So. I mean, playing just chromatic up and down sounds fine if you don't stop, right? The problem is people kind of fumble and fuck up the rhythm. But if you have strong rhythm, like, and you're just playing a chromatic scale up and down, even on a blues, it doesn't sound good, but it also doesn't sound wrong because it's still in motion, right? So if
When you're launching a new product with a tight deadline,
2 weeks?
Grandmother's tone suggestion.
So yeah, if I'm just just chromatic nonsense, if the rhythm is fine, it still sounds like it's still going somewhere. So you can use bits of chromaticism in a lot of places as long as you have a real good sense of the phrasing and riding the groove to a point and really make something out of it. Obviously, different kinds of chromatic playing stay closer to the harmony. So there is a way, and this is what bebop is really, the innovator of playing chromatically wound around either a mode or a chord and outlining the sound of that chord, kind of controlling the way you're using chromaticism, wrapping the chromaticism around important points. But even like outside chromaticism, just very half-steppy motion that's really not around anything, works if you have a system of doing it that doesn't allow for you to fail rhythmically, right? If I take a thing like just a random finger pattern. I just remembered I had a dream that Nearfelder killed himself. Like, for real.
You had a dream?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It just came back to me.
What else happened?
I don't remember, but I remember that, like, very distinctly. Weird. And it's only when I played that pattern that it came back.
Spooky.
Spooky. I did have that dream. Wow. Okay. So, but anyways, yeah, you can use that kind of motion and resolve it, and that's sort of like, a lot of the modern guys do that kind of stuff. But yeah, the chromatic stuff that's more bebop inside the mode, just passing tones, if you see Emic Solidian. It's just like a way of dancing through the mode, like the mode when you learn it, like those shreddy fingerings. You just learn how to add things in between. It's just those notes, wherever you have a whole step in your modal playing, you can add a half step to just kind of bridge that gap, and you're in passing tone territory. You're not really doing enclosures. You're not playing around specific notes, but you're bridging notes, and that's a big part of that language. it's like 90 degrees out, probably due to this shredding. What do you mean? Feel and shred. You put YJMs in your signature guitar, didn't you have Sir 70s? I did. I watched your videos about using Lydian dominant on the 1 chord. Can you also use it on the 4 chord and on the 5 chord? You can definitely use it on the 4 chord. The 5 chord is going to sound funny because Lydian dominant is a great sound for chords that don't resolve in a cadence, that kind of just go in a loop to themselves. They're kind of like, it's more stable sound. Let's see. You're actually goated? I don't know what that means. But let's find a backing track that I can actually play on a little bit better. Like something with like a fusion groove. There was one I really liked and I can't find it anymore. Funk Fusion, C minor. That's all I remember. It was like the right tempo. Funk guitar backing track, C minor.
Let me be direct.
Oh,
You're doing TV wrong.
I like that guy. Yeah, it's this guy. Okay. It's a good track. It's like the tempo's right. You can really shred on this one. Oh yeah. If you got to play with someone like BB King, what would you play? Oh, I would play. I would try to imitate Derek Trucks because I know it makes him horny. Hey Marvin, can you talk about Messiaen modes? Sure. There was a guy, I believe his name was Oliver
Yeah,
Olivier Messiaen. He was French, and you should listen to his music. Cause here I'll show you. Let's see what he did with
good
it.
one about the Holocaust.
Yeah, there's a good one about the Holocaust. Messiaen. Oliver Messiaen. Let's see. I don't know any of it, but I think it's gonna be good.
He liked birds. Big fan
Uh,
of birds.
Let's hear it. All right, so he's in charge of writing these ballads where the piano and the violin don't play notes that sound very good together. Let's see some more. Yeah, that seems to be his style. Who likes this? I guess this is good. I don't know. Is this good, Nick? Would you listen to this?
Yeah, I've listened to it before.
But would you for fun? This has the most plays. This is 13 million because the beginning sounds like music. That's a nice thing. That's nice. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what to say about it. It's not surprised that Alan uses all that stuff because that's what it sounds like. You know, like weird modern harmonies. I would not sit down and listen to this though. That was his most played song, too. It does sound like Alan. I don't know. So yeah, what kind of Strat is that? This is what's it called? James Tyler Strat. I don't play slide anymore. I used to. So. Yeah, I would say, let's see, yeah, I use a lot of Messiaen modes, but talk about harmony scale, of course, I use them and how. Yeah, the Messiaen thing, it's probably not the best thing to take from Alan, you know what I mean? Like, there's a fascination without stuff, without playing, that's like the thing I get asked about the most. And I really am a big believer in learning how to play in, you know, like, the outplaying I do in Fusion, I do a little bit of it, but like, you know, just if you learn how to play a standard nicely, you're just gonna have such a better sense of harmony, you know, and not trying to cram things like Messiaen modes on every dominant chord where they really don't belong. Like, it's very rare to see the kind of guy that can just keep the mood of a song going harmonically. You know what I mean? Just play the right shit. Like, whatever that means. There's a lot of options. You can put yourself in a lot of eras, but like, steering clear of the weird shit is just as an exercise. It might not be a bad idea. Let's see. Playing tenderly with an octafuzz, maybe not the best idea. I'll play it with some verb, like. So I was just playing through tenderly, but really trying to, make some stuff happen inside the harmony and really shape, the melody. Try to get singy with it. Okay. Let's see. Love that. Ever improv live and find yourself in a weird place? Often. Is it how you feel? Is the way the song is going to come out? It's going to come out how it's going to come out. It's only going to come out one way. You don't have to worry about that. You're always doing your best at the moment. and that's just kind of a retroactive fact, right? Looking back, you couldn't have done better, because if you would, you probably would have, right? If you try. Who are good fusion players to listen to and learn from that don't use too much of the outside stuff? Me. That's what I learned by playing blues, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I certainly play more inside in my, like in Marvin and stuff like that than, let's say, definitely Alan Holdsworth or Scott Henderson. But I don't consider Chromatic playing outside. You know, to me, that thing of outside is really reserved for people who, you know, Messiaen plays really outside, where they imagine a sequence of chords instead of the sequence of chords that's actually in the music, and they kind of plow through it with their lines, right? And that's the kind of outside playing that those folks tend to do. I don't really, it's always a little bit too dissonant for our kind of music, the way we like the grooves and the harmony. Alan Holdsworth uses a lot of Messiaen mode 3. Yep, he sure does. Improv a lot of target notes, outside melody forms, and other stuff. Yeah, he does. You know, I know that Brett Stein wrote that book, or I didn't read it, but I'm sure, like from hearing him explain it online, I'm pretty sure he's figured it out. But there's just a lot of people that sound like Alan coming out. And they're trying to make Alan into Django, but they can't, because, you know, Django and Gypsy Jazz is a style that's very unique in the sense that it really evolved around one guy, right? It's just about how Django played guitar. He's the maker of that style of music. Even though he had contemporaries and people after him, he's the dude, and everybody's really modeling everything around him. But it was an interpretation of very inside, happy sounding music that's very consonant and pleasing. Alan invented his own language, you could say, or maybe Messiaen invented it, or people like that, like in the modern classical sphere. But the thing they did with it, nobody liked, and the thing he did with it is just so out there on its own. I just don't see it becoming a monotheistic style the way Gypsy Jazz did, or even like bebop revolved around Charlie Parker. It's like, you know, when I see a lot of the guys that really sound a lot like him, there's a lot like Alex Sill and like a ton. There's the dude from the 80s, I forget his name. A lot of people got to that place where they're convincingly doing his shtick, but it's just, I don't think that's a good path. I don't know. To my ear, I always like, I'm scratching my head like, what? Like, what are you, like, out of all the things you could be doing, why that path? Let's see. What the WF is Henry Kaiser doing? I don't know what Henry Kaiser is. Who's Henry Kaiser? I love Shredding at Sweetwater live. The Old Ways, the first tune I heard from Marvin. Oh, really? Yeah, that's. I don't remember. Yeah, it's a good song. Anyways, yeah, it's a cool tune. Okay, cool. I gotta get going. I will see you guys soon. How about Eric Dolphy? See what he doesn't take the A train. Literally amazing stuff. Yeah, I was, I guess I think Alan took the turn. For me, I just never took the turn into liking that kind of. I didn't get bored enough with jazz, I guess. I think it was. There was a real movement of people like late Coltrane, Eric Dolphy, Mingus Band that pushed music into that place it went to right before free jazz, right? Like early 60s. And I think that's the stuff Alan grew up trying to do with the guitar, like harmonically, very outside, very against the harmony all the time. I fucking love jazz, man. I love gypsy jazz. I love old tunes. I love Sidney Bechet. I love Johnny Hodges. I like Jeff Beck. I like people who play the melody. Just dig into the actual melody of the tune and just play it. And it's like, and that's, I understand. It's like I'm not the guy to be blown away by that stuff. Like I don't need that shit for me, But I was in school and that was the stuff. Like when I was a student in college, like I would look for that stuff that kind of like felt like my brain was splitting. But after a while, just like I don't know. There's something like when I listen to the big picture. Like Alan, I love Alan. I like listening to Alan. He like some of his solos make me very happy. It's cool. It breaks this, but it's not the kind of feeling I'm looking for. A person needs to be honest with what he's trying to do with his music. And for me, it's just like I just try to play nice. Yeah. I mean, you love this and you love that, but you can't be everything. That's the thing. You write one kind of music, you become one kind of player. So, it's for every person. It's kind of. Like, I will tell you that if you play Messiaen modes one time in your solo, you're no longer in the pop realm of things, right? It's like you are at a level of dissonance that fits very specific kind of music. So even though you love a lot of things, you make you gotta know what you're going for and why you're going for it, I think. Yeah. Alrighty. Guys, I gotta go. Check out, we're gonna upload the lesson we did earlier today. I think we're probably going to not eat quite as much weed before. Right, Nick? That was too much weed.